Recovery Age should be back with us next month. Entertain a motion for the approval of the previous town board meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Supervisor's financial report, November 2017, revenues. Police fees, $30. Ambulance fees, $5,753.47. Town clerk fees, $46.49. Town clerk permits, code officer, $50. Town clerk vital statistic fee, $90. Cell tower, $292.87. Justice fees, $8,625. Building permit fees, $3,925. Dog licenses, $111. Pine Hill water rents, $10,633. Pine Hill postage reimbursement, $50.32. Phoenicia water rents, $15,800. Insurance reimbursement, $137.52. Retirement reimbursement of overpayment, $52.54. Scrap metal, $394. FEMA Irene federal money Little Peck Hollow Bridge, $247,829.28. New York Rising CDBG, $110,220.33. AWSMP, $7,366.40. Higley Settlement, $378.89, for a grand total of $411,786.11. Communications. Month of December 2017, logging permit. Tonight we held a public hearing regarding a logging permit for Green Lumber Company. Barring any outstanding issues, the board will perform the necessary secret determination and possible approval. Planning grants. During discussions with the town's flood mitigation committee, Safari, the idea of getting many of the flood mitigation activities into the town's comprehensive plan was discussed, as this could help with future funding for these activities. It should also be noted that the town's comprehensive plan has not been officially reviewed or amended since its adoption in 2005. The Catskill Watershed Corporation in Margaretville offers local technical assistance grants, or LTAP, for local municipalities to supply funding to hire consultants to assist in planning activities. I would like us to apply for this grant and during the 2018 year perform a review of the comprehensive plan. Additionally, the town's engineers have been working toward a preliminary plan for the stormwater retrofit grant in Pine Hill. Following the last public meeting in Pine Hill, an issue arose concerning the current width of Main Street and other roads within the hamlet, which could restrict the limited parking in the hamlet. It was discussed that a parking study could be performed to find the best possible scenarios to better understand the amount of spaces needed and to look at possible other areas for public parking. Again, I would like to apply for an additional grant to perform this task in order to allow the stormwater program to continue. Following the outcome of this parking study, I think it's feasible for us to then apply for another grant to perform a parking study for Phoenicia, as there has always been concern over the availability of parking in Phoenicia, but certain issues have come up recently that may or may not reduce the number of spaces having been available. Employee handbook. We were recently visited by our friends at the New York State Comptroller's Office. They performed an audit of payroll activities. Although we had few errors, there was nothing of any major determination, just small miscalculations regarding multiple employees' contributions, which we are already at work to amend. The auditor did note the language of our employee handbook is not always as clear as it should be regarding payment calculations, healthcare, and disbursement of personal sick and vacation time. One of the issues we needed to clarify immediately was regarding the healthcare buyback. If an employee is eligible for healthcare coverage but elected not to take it through the town provides them 40% of what would have been paid by the town as additional monies in their paycheck. We had always calculated that rate based off of the single coverage contribution, roughly $85 per biweekly period. We were informed that the handbook does not specifically illustrate it. The handbook reads that the employees to receive 40% of the health care plan they would be eligible to receive. So where we were paying against a single coverage plan only, anyone who may have been married or had children would be eligible for 40% of those coverage plans, bringing the range of payment up to nearly $225 per biweekly period. I don't think that was the intention, and we would like to clarify this language so it now reflects how this has historically been calculated, and we have a resolution tonight to change this language immediately. Phoenicia Water. First, I would like to thank Rick for doing his due diligence regarding the water district. Rick noticed water levels dropping that were uncommon for this time of year. And before we had any visual confirmation, he and others drove around to find what he believed was a large leak. Sure enough, just before noon, the break was discovered along Route 28 and fixed by that afternoon. It was a shear of a large main which was losing a lot of water, and the system was able to recover within a few hours. So thank you, Rick, for catching that. On another note, after several meetings and having received more information due to warranted state investigations, the engineers discovered several more issues regarding the work under the Community Development Block Grant proposed work, which included the High Street Loop, the new chemical storage and ventilation systems, and a third finishing pump. Briefly, rock ledge was discovered where we had never encountered ledge along High Street, which would require blasting in order to keep the required depth for the water main. Additionally, other issues remain regarding the existing main crossing the Woodland Valley Bridge. The line has not been charged over this many years, and there are concerns of possible damage to the main, the insulation, and casing, which would require repairs and could add considerable expense, which is to be calculated within the grant in order for the work to get done. Lastly, the logistics for the chemical ventilation, existing electrical and truss work, and installation of the third finishing pump are adding expenses to that portion of the project. In meeting with the engineers, Alfred Peavy of the Water Board, Rick Riccadella, Candace Bomber from RCAP Solutions, Katie Camion from MART Project, and in discussion with the Office of Community Renewal, they would not be able to increase the grant amount by the near $200,000 more needed to complete the project. After discussing all the options available, the best option seemed to close out this current grant, which closes December 11, 2017, and reapply in June in the round of the state CFA process. The state will allow us to pay expenses received already for work performed, so there's no harm to the town financially. We also have much more fully vetted environmental, archaeological, and detailed maps and drawings, which should score us a bit higher. This was an unfortunate turn of events, but as we continue to try and get to pre-construction, which we were doing, the issues arose one after the other very quickly, the biggest being the condition of the Woodland Valley Bridge crossing. As you may recall, the Bridge Street Bridge main was initially estimated at near $150,000 and ended up costing roughly $220,000 due to state requirements for pay scale and equipment deemed necessary. We felt uncomfortable with the amount of contingency funding available and in a worst case scenario situation, so we will be reapplying in 2018. Others, we have resolutions to reappoint Sam Spada to the Ulster County Planning Board. Sam has been the alternate the past few years and has stepped up when the previous principal representative stepped down. We have a recommendation from the Town Planning Board supporting Mr. Spada to continue in his capacity, as he's done a fine job of keeping our planning board up to date with the issues at the county level. There's also a liquor license waiver resolution for another new business in Pine Hill called the Jewelweed Cafe and Mint Bar, and we welcome them to town. LFA and other meetings. The engineers have completed their local flood analysis for Alabin and Shandaken, and we will be sending out mailers to residents, and we'll be holding a special meeting on Monday, December 18th at 6:30 p.m. here at Town Hall to see their presentation of their findings. A draft of the analysis on the town website under the flood mitigation tab for residents to review. The meeting will be televised and replayed. If you're unable to attend but may have questions or comments regarding the draft LFA, please send them to my office at shandakensupervisor@yahoo.com, and I will forward them to the engineers. We also have standard business meetings set up for the end of the year to close out the 2017 fiscal year, which will be held here at 1 p.m. on December 27th. We will also be setting our annual reorganizational meeting for 2018, and since January 1 falls on the Monday, we can either meet the following Monday, January 8th, or Tuesday, January 2nd, and I prefer the 2nd as it gets all the appointments done and gets everybody's new pay rate set. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, so far, Tuesday, January 2nd of 2018 at 6:30 p.m. On a final note, and I didn't put it in my comments here, but this is going to be the last meeting, formal meeting for Tim Malloy, who has served well as my deputy supervisor these past few years, and just has been a great friend and great help on the town board.
Thank you.
All your work. I mean, it's been 8 years altogether.
Yeah.
You had a little stint when you were on.
Well, thank you very much. It's been fun to be on the town board. It's been good to serve my community. I've had a good time. I grew up here, so it was very, very good, very interesting. You know, if you ever feel that you want to be on the town board, you should try it. It's good. It's not as bad as people think, people say like that. It's good. And I've served with some great people, so I've had a lot of fun on this. And thank you for having me.
Says the guy that's leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, it's easy, it's fun.
It was.
Thank you, Bill. With that, I'll turn it over to Joyce. Any announcements?
Okay, big announcement is, first off, big game hunting is still continuing on through December 19th. Small game hunting continues till February 28th. So if you're a hiker and you have a dog, please wear orange when you're in the woods. I saw, I think, about 25 people walking up the Tambar trail. They were too far away to yell at them, okay? None of them had orange on. It was really disturbing. So please wear orange in the woods. We don't want to have what happened to that poor woman in New York somewhere. So, okay, upcoming Shandaken events. Phoenicia Playhouse is presenting the World War II Radio Christmas, a live radio play, December 1st through the 17th, Friday and Saturdays at 8 p.m., and Sunday matinees at 2 p.m. The gingerbread house decorating is going on at the Pine Hill Morton Memorial Library, Friday, December 8th at 5 to 7, and you need to call by tomorrow to make a reservation at 254-4222. There's a roast beef dinner this Friday, December 8th at the Shandaken United Methodist Church on 28th. Takeout start at 4:30, eat in from 5 to 7. The annual Phoenicia Library Holiday Open House is Saturday, December 9th, noon to 2. Saturday, December 9th is the annual tree lighting and holiday events, Main Street, Phoenicia, starting at 5 p.m. Saturday, December 16th is the 29th annual community holiday dinner at the Zen Mountain Monastery in Mount Tremper. All are welcome and free to all. Please call for reservations at 688-2228. And lastly, the Big Indian Alvaria Firehouse is having their country breakfast buffet on Saturday, December 16th. All you can eat, starting at 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. at the firehouse. And that's it. And sign up for our emergency alerts.
Yes.
Anything else? With that, move on to committee reports. Meetings. Chief Wheeler.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone had a safe and happy Thanksgiving, didn't eat too much turkey or go into a turkey coma. As this is the last ambulance report of 2017, I would like to thank everyone in the town and all my staff for a safe and busy year. Even though we still have almost a month left, I hope it's a safe one. With that, I would like to remind those that are traveling to the local ski centers to be careful and cautious during their travels. Also, for those that enjoy a real treat for their holidays, to make sure that you keep it watered and that you turn off the lights when you're not at home. Also, make sure you keep your pets, small and large, away from the water in the tree stand, as this can be harmful to your animals. It is not the season to be spending at the vet worrying about your pets. As this is the start of the holiday party season, please, as always, don't drink and drive. And in closing, on behalf of myself and my staff, I would like to wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season, and I will see you next year. And the ambulance responded to 37 calls in the month of November.
Thank you. Building and zoning. Officer Tuck.
So, for the month of November, we issued 28 building permits, renewed 9 building permits, only 1 demolition permit, DEP, 2 floodplain permits, resulting in 54 building inspections, 2 fire inspections, 7 certificates of occupancy, 28 certificates of compliance, 3 requests for research, and 2 stop work orders. First time I had to issue a stop work order twice on the same building, resulting in an income of $3,346. The Pine Hill Sewer Extension, as of today, we've had 7 connections completed. I was in contact with the DEP. They have no objection to delaying the connections till spring if the weather becomes inclement, such as it will start to freeze. One other note is there has been a request made by the tenants at 160 Mount Pleasant Road, which would be the old Phil Kelly house just renovated, to have a street light installed near the parking lot across the street. Most of the occupants currently renting are single females, so they may request it when they get home, it's dark, to cross the street to get to the building. The owner has contacted NYSEG, and they will send a field rep to evaluate the situation. If they, NYSEG, agree, the light will be a town light, which means it'll have to come for town board approval.
Why would it be a town?
That's what NYSEG has said. More information to follow. I haven't spoken to
This
NYSEG.
is the first time hearing of it, so I'm just.
Yeah, well, I got an email today,
Okay.
so any more information I get, I'll pass it on.
Warren, what about the houses behind it on Andrew Lane there?
Well, there is a street light.
But I mean, are they going to now have a light in their face?
If they place the light on well, there is a light one house up from that, on the same side of the road as 160 Mount Pleasant on the house side. So that one actually faces towards, what is it? Andrew Lane, right?
Yeah.
So if they put this on the opposite side, it'd be facing towards 160,
Oh, okay, yeah.
because that's what the parking lot is across the street. I have to go see what the pole situation is. I know NYSEG, they might set a light, but I guarantee they won't set a pole. So they'll pick a pole that's sitting there, and then we'll put a light here, and that would be the case. Otherwise, it's going to incur a cost to the owner if you don't have a pole set. And the last time I checked, it was over $2,000 to have a pole set. So, like I said, I just got the email today, so I'm waiting for information from them and from NYSEG as to the feasibility. So I'll have more information to follow.
Thank you. Police, Chad is not able to make it. Tim, would you mind?
Sure. The monthly statistical report for November 2017. There was 206 incidents in Shandaken. Summons issued were 35. Arrests were 16. And the total difference in mileage in police cars was 6,791 miles.
Thank you. Felicia Water?
Alton is here in Florida, so we go over the big leak that I had. I'm using about averaging about 55,000 gallons a day now, which before was 70, 80,000. Last year, 100,000. So what we do have droughts now is we won't have to have a drought alert so early in the thing. But everything's running pretty good now. But I don't like to do that because I don't want to jinx it. But,
Was that leak there for a while?
No, it happened. I was down there about 6 in the morning and I noticed it was dropping. And all of a sudden, by noontime, I had lost probably 7 or 8 feet of water in the tank. And it dropped
Fast.
Yeah, really fast. We were out looking, and luckily one of the kids there, Dylan Callahan, found it, which was in the ditch on 28.
Yep, I saw where you were.
So that was a lucky thing to happen.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise, I'd like to thank Timmy for his
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
work. He was always very helpful with me,
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Gonna miss you.
I'll come up. I can sit back there.
Still working next door to your place. It's your brother's place. Like, you can walk over.
I've been part of your family for 40 years.
45,
I'm going to ask if you wanted to come up
I'm
and
the other
hug it out or
brother.
something.
I
I don't know
remember
what's
you were washing dishes, you went into the Navy, you had a big afro.
They took care of that for me.
No report for Pine Hill Water. Museum, I don't see a representative here.
And there wasn't a meeting.
The meeting didn't occur.
No.
I know that the museum is working diligently on trying to get their 501c3 status set. So that way they may continue as a not-for-profit organization, and then the town would just, I think moving forward, that way the town would just consider it a stipend expense for the town, and we can make a donation to them, let them operate in that building. Yes.
Kathleen contacted me about a month ago and was asking about the relationship of the museum to tourism and so forth. And in relationship to that 501(c) application, she said that the museum needed some repairs that needed to be done in order to have an inspection, and that they couldn't file until those things happened. Has that moved along? And because to me, for the town to invest in making those repairs that make them eligible for 501c3 is exactly the way to go. Has that happened?
There was a laundry list, and it's at the end of the year, so a lot of the work can't get done because some of it's outside work that needs to be done. It's too cold to pour concrete, things like that. There's little things that need to be done as well, and we're working towards getting them done. Again, we just did the furnace and changed the fuel situation and everything, so that should be rectified. For me, the thing, it's not clear to me why, the museum wouldn't own the building. So I don't know why, again, I'm not sure why the town has to bring it right up to full code for them to get a 501c3 status. I mean, they don't have to have a building to create their not-for-profit organization. There's plenty of not-for-profits that don't have a structure that they live in. The museum, again, we're gonna go through it. We'll do our best to continue to make sure the museum continues. I just think it's going to work better for them in the long run as being a 501c3 as opposed to being a town entity. So.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I agree that the 501c3 might not need the building upgrades, but if it needs to be up to that level to be up to code, then it is the town does own the building, and that's the most appropriate investment is in bringing the building up to code and getting it up to shape. So. I told her that I would try to talk with you about it, and I didn't get a chance before the meeting, so I appreciate you looking into it.
So we are.
Yeah, Gail spoke, they had to reschedule their meeting because they usually have the meeting the day of the town board meeting. That's what we were discussing. They didn't have their meeting. They're going to have it later this week for this month to discuss and go over all these things again. Recreation. Marty. And I have a few other folks too.
Yes, I want to thank Timmy, who was also our liaison with the board.
Well, thank you, Mike.
Appreciate your help over the years. And I want to send out a thanks to the Turkey Trot people who have designated Parks and Rec, specifically Smith Park, for the improvements we're hoping to do there. And it's been quiet. Unfortunately, I think the weather has gotten ahead of us, but we're really looking forward to getting the new playground equipment installed in early spring. And I would just urge the highway department to put us on their list. I know they maintain the park and they plow it and they mow it, but we really need their help in that. I think we can't count on volunteers to install the equipment and make sure it's done, the way it needs to be done. So I'm just putting a word in and hoping we get on their schedule. So.
He's right there.
Right there.
He's writing it down too. I see that.
Write it down. Yes. Okay, that's it for me.
Yeah, again, I want to thank Patty Regis here in the back of the room. I want to thank Patty if you want to get up and say a few words. Again, Turkey Trot was a great event again this year. You raised a lot of money for the Parks and Rec. We certainly appreciate that, but we appreciate the work you and Heather do to put the event together and draw all those people into town on Shop Small Saturday, which is a great day to bring everybody in, actually.
It was a good day. So to start off with, to say thank you to you, Rob, and Joyce for all the help that we get from the town to pull off the Turkey Trot every year. This was the 7th annual Turkey Trot. The recipient was and is to go back to the town of Shandaken's Park and Rec. So Marty will receive that money. And the plan is to create a really lovely skateboard park up at Smith Park in Pine Hill. So we were excited to do it. We actually cleared $3,700, which is quite exciting. The beauty of it is, though, that we had 27 sponsors, businesses in town, that each stepped forward and gave us a really nice donation. And all that money goes forward towards not just the purchase of the T-shirts, but it also helps pay for the $50 each for the first man and the first woman finisher, and takes care of the clock, little expenses that actually add up. So we did really, really well. I'm happy to say that. And the young man who won was actually from Pine Hill. His name is Satch. He came in flyingly fast. And the young woman came up from Pine Hill, and that was Mindy. So thank you to everybody, and we plan to do it again. We'll go for it again. We'll be 8 next year. So thank you to everybody. And have a lovely Christmas, Tim. Thank you for everything.
And Aaron, you wanted to say a few words as well?
Yeah.
Standing ovation.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'll see there.
I had to try to come to a couple of the meetings and just really make a nice formal thank you for, on the behalf of the kids in the town of Shandaken and Mountain Valley Little League, for the baseball in the Glenbrook Park specifically. So I just wanted to run a few numbers by you because the town's been so supportive, from Eric and the highway, Marty and the Recs department, and of course the town board. I've been doing this, been involved about 5 years now, and it's just Glenbrook Park has become sort of the best facility of the Mountain Valley Little League, which is Olive, Shandaken, and Woodstock, and a few kids from Hurley. And so that season goes from April through the end of June, and then there's the summer baseball, summer rec baseball, we call it rec baseball, that plays like Grand Gorge and Roxbury and Margaretville. And so that goes pretty much the month of July. And so, we've had about, I ran the numbers just this year, and there's been 22 games there, and 28 practices or so from all that. So 50 events, if you will, at Glenbrook Park. And so it's getting a ton of use, and it's really the kids love it, the parents love it, and the coaches we love using it. It's a haul for a lot of the families from Woodstock, and we hear about that, but it's all right. It's worth the trip. It's the report back we get. The other thing is we got some new bleachers this year.